Hello, 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 my friends, my friends, my friends. That's you. So we're going to talk about purpose today. Clarity of purpose. How do you get clear on your purpose? Whew. Okay, so yesterday I was on the phone with this man who was helping me to I was ordering spring water for my house, and I was talking to this guy who's just basically a sales representative, and he had such an amazing voice. He had such an incredible energy moving through him, and I was like, this company is so fortunate to have this guy working for them, because he was stellar. He was charming, he was funny, he was listening, he had a great energy about him, he was witty. I thought, man, this guy has so much potential. And I kept wanting to say to him, like, you should start a podcast. No shoulds, but like, wow, like your voice is incredible. I just sensed there was a message in him, and his voice, the quality of his voice was so amazing. I didn't say anything, and I just kept talking with him, listening, giving him my order, date of delivery, all that. And then finally at the end, I just blurted out, I'm like, I have to say this. He's like, okay. I'm like, you have an amazing voice. Have you ever thought of starting a podcast? And he's cracking up. He's like, thank you so much. Oof. Oh yeah. He was like, thank you so much. He's like, I have. He's like, I just have no idea what to talk about. And I was like, huh. So what are the books by your bedside? What are the videos you watch? What are you Googling? What are the things you're very passionate about that you could talk about forever? And he's like, that's an interesting thought. I never thought of it that way. I'm like, often the things we're obsessed about are the things that we're here to speak about or share about or be of service around. And he was like, yeah, but I have a 2-year-old and there's just no time, and I wish I could, like, I just don't have the time. And I go, wait a minute, you have a 2-year-old and you're struggling with that? He's like, yeah. I'm like, do you know how many people would love to hear your real and raw stories? Because he was very funny about what it's like to have a 2-year-old working and also seeking your purpose and being a husband and all the things you deal with, juggling all the things and trying to find your purpose. That's a podcast. How do you find your purpose with a 2-year-old? And instead of being the expert, you're the one people come on the journey with as you're finding your way. And he was like, wow, you think people, he goes, that is so interesting. He goes, because I could literally talk your ear off right now around stories with my kids and, with my 2-year-old. He's like, I have endless content around that, like endless. So he went from, but I wouldn't know what to talk about, to, oh, I would have endless content on that. But then the next issue is the belief, would anyone want to listen? Would anyone want to hear what I have to say? Because I'm not an expert or whatever. Even if you are an expert, the mind will typically kick in and make all these excuses around why you can't do it. No one's going to listen. No one's going to show up. Those beliefs, those stories, those ideas are actually what keep us in this place of feeling so stuck and so frustrated, because we're doing it for the result rather than doing it for the freedom. We're doing it for the outcome rather than doing it for the joy. We're doing it for the accolades and the applause and the money and the audience size, instead of doing it for the sheer self-expression that wants to move through us. And guess what? When we unplug in that way, when we release those endorphins of sharing our message, our voice, just for the sheer joy of creativity, something shifts energetically. It's almost like when you clean a house, your energy shifts, you feel better, you feel brighter, or when your sheets are washed and you get in bed that night, it just feels so good. That's how we clean our inner space, is instead of by overthinking things, by starting where we are and starting with the thing that's most honest and real and authentic, that we have endless content around. And it's usually the thing we would never consider because it's so natural to us that it seems like, who would pay for something that's so easy for me to do? That's it. The thing that is so easy for you, the thing that's so natural for you. And again, The block is typically this shield, this idea that it's not going to be valuable to someone else. But you don't know that until you actually try, until you actually share your message. And I do want to say that the days of having a perfect message and looking perfect and being polished and having the most brilliant way of saying things and not sharing authentically about the struggle as well, those days are over. We don't want perfect people making us feel like crap, believing that one day we'll be perfect like them. I think now we are aware enough as a civilization to know that nobody's perfect. Everyone has good days and bad days. We all have extreme struggles sometimes. We all have elation at other times. It's the human journey. It doesn't actually change later. We just get better at holding both, holding the challenges and holding the joys. And in sharing your voice and sharing your message, it becomes so much easier to hold both, so long as you first start by holding yourself through the things you're afraid to do. I'm going to say that again. Learn to hold yourself through the things you're afraid to do. That's where we actually have self-mastery program. It's our confidence course coming up live with me and Jason, and it's unbelievable transformation. I teach you the diamond process, how to apply it to your life. Our coaches also use it as a foundation to coach clients with. If you are interested in that, actually send me an email at info@veronicacresto.com and I'll send you details, or I'll put a link below as well to fill out an application. Wherever you figure out how to hold yourself through the scary things you do in the world so that you can live your purpose confidently, find a place for that. Because until we know how to move through those blocks that tell us no one's going to care, it's not worth it, blah, 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 I'm not worth it, just expect to stay stuck. Because clarity is easy. You know the thing that excites you. What's one thing you want to do? Make a video. Make a video for your eyes only. Then that creates momentum. That creates excitement. Then the next step, share it with a friend. Then the next step, share it on your public page. Then the next step presents itself. But notice those things are easy. What's challenging is having mastery over the lies in the mind that keep us bound in an invisible straitjacket that doesn't let us actually express the magic and the mess of who we are. And your people, your community, they want the magic and they want the mess. They don't want this perfect image. It doesn't serve people. You know, in our private groups, I get extremely honest in our courses and in the dojo, the authenticity circles, about what I go through, because I never ever want someone to think that one day you're going to have this perfect life, because then that makes them feel crappy now, and it's delusional. If it's never going to be perfect, why not do it now? Why not do it now? And if you need the community to back you and to support you, right now we have a free offering going on where we're live on Zoom for 2 more weeks. It's called Stepping into Coaching Confidence. If you want to be a coach and just have a lot of self-doubt around it, go to thediamondprocess.com/coaching confidence and you can join us this Saturday live on Zoom. This Saturday we're going into growing your audience, having the confidence to grow your audience, and then next week confidence around enrollment, and then you'll automatically get recordings to the first 2 weeks, which were on confidence in your own worth and confidence in your ability to help your clients get results in each session if you are interested in being a coach. All right, you guys, what are you hearing me say in this video? What is the thing that's like, what aha did you have? Like, for this guy, in his head it has to be this perfect thing, but what if it's the very struggle with his 2-year-old and what he's learning from that, and taking people on the journey with him as he learns how to live his purpose, find his purpose, and still be an amazing family guy. What if we want to actually experience that with him rather than some perfect vision that's going to be like 10 years from now that never comes because he's not taking the messy steps now? The messy steps lead to the masterpiece. It requires getting really messy with the paint we have right now in our lives and start painting, start playing. How can you have more fun this week? If you got something from this video, give it a thumbs up. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video.